Yo, Big D back with you on the Big D podcast. Before I bring in Alice for his weekly contribution, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. A lot of content up there and hopefully more coming soon. Also, check out the Big D podcast for your audio listeners on Spotify and Apple. So I'm back from fixing calls, fighting with solar bears, and swimming with the dolphins. It's yours truly, Alex.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Dylan. Pleasure to be back as always for my weekly NFL contribution, and I'm excited to get into it. Back on winning ways in Miami. I love to see it.
Yeah. So you know who's back? You know who else is back on the winning ways? That Mahomes guy. I didn't think he'd be losing that much, but how about Mahomes and the Chiefs' second half performance against Jimmy G and the 49ers? I mean, I thought it was a game 49ers could have won, and Mahomes and the Chiefs laid it on that second half. I mean, Mahomes threw for 423 as the Chiefs dominated the Niners 30-10 in the second half on Sunday. So, A, is Patrick Mahomes amazing? Yes. And B, how do you think the 49ers will acclimate Christian McCaffrey to that star-studded roster?
Yeah, I think A is pretty self-explanatory. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is amazing. I think not a lot of people expected the San Francisco 49ers to go up 10-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs. I sure don't think the Kansas City Chiefs expected the San Francisco 49ers to go up 10-0 on them. But it provided all the boost that Patrick Mahomes and company needed to shift things into the next gear. But, it's just a tale of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are a fantastic football team. I think the San Francisco 49ers have a lot of talent. Obviously, but it just seems like they can't necessarily put those final pieces together to really get that successful of a season going on. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo is probably not the future of that franchise. Unfortunately for them, Trey Lance goes down for the season-ending injury, and they're kind of stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo this season, but we still haven't really seen much from Trey Lance. He really hasn't had that much opportunity yet to really prove that he can lead a franchise in the NFL. But as far as integrating Christian McCaffrey, I mean, it's an easy player to integrate, I feel like. And it really does seem like an ideal situation and an ideal spot for Christian McCaffrey. We all know that he's had the injury concerns, but when you're the only guy in Carolina, I mean, I know DJ Moore last season was definitely, an extra weapon that they had. But this season, he has fallen off the face of the earth. They've got quarterback carousels going on. It just seemed like Carolina needed to get as much value as possible to really be able to focus on the future and focus on rebuilding. But as far as San Francisco goes, obviously they get a fantastic playmaker. It's going to have less pressure on him to carry the team as he had in Carolina. You've got Deebo Samuel, you've got George Kittle, you've got Jeff Wilson, really all being able to take a little bit of a load off of Christian McCaffrey. So I think it's a great spot for him. It's still new. I mean, I don't even think many people expected to see Christian McCaffrey on the field as much as we even did see him on Sunday. NFL offenses are ridiculously complex. It's gonna take him a little bit to really get adjusted, to get his playbook down. But I really think it's a good spot. I think having Deebo there, having George Kittle, he's gonna have the weapons. He's in a Kyle Shanahan offense. It's a situation that definitely has potential and has the opportunity for success. It's just really getting that time in, getting that playbook down, and really figuring out what their offensive game plans are going to be with their new weapon.
I think Christian McCaffrey's got a chance of being the Von Miller of last year because we know what teams he's capable of doing. And yeah, the Kyle Shanahan West Coast offense very difficult to learn. But guess what? His old man, Ed McCaffrey, played under Mike Shanahan when he coached the Denver Broncos. Yep. So, son with the son of a Super winning head coach there. And so I think McCaffrey will figure out the offense pretty quick. Secondly, did you see Mecole Hardman 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, and 1 receiving? I think it was the first receiver in the Super Bowl era to have 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. I thought Deebo Samuel would have been the first.
Yeah, you definitely when that kind of stat line comes up, you definitely think Deebo Samuel first as the first name that pops in your head. But it's just a product of Tyreek Hill leading the offense. Obviously, Travis Kelce was going to be the main feature for Patrick Mahomes in the receiving core. They brought in Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought in Marquez Valdes-Scantling. But, none of those guys are going to be able to stand into that offense and fill in the shoes that Cheetah left. So it really just is kind of a trusting Patrick Mahomes to read defenses, to make the best decisions, and to get the guys who are hot and get the guys who are open the ball. And we know, as good as anyone, we know as good as anyone as fans of the National Football League that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to make his receivers look pretty good. So, fortunately, you just said his name. Why am I Mecole Hardman? Mecole Hardman really kind of made a statement on his own by taking those touchdowns in on the ground. But it's the next man up kind of mantra. It's the next man up situation in Kansas City. Travis Kelce's there, but other than that, it's really just those extra depth guys that are really able to step it up when the Chiefs need them to. And Mecole Hardman definitely stepped up for the Chiefs, and he stepped up for any brave fantasy owners who wanted to start him this weekend. But let's just transition. We had another little first prime time. Well, actually, no, second prime time action in the Miami Dolphins season. But first prime time victory of the Miami Dolphins season. The return of Tua. There's a big celebration in Miami this Sunday night, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 1972 team. The Dolphins were wearing the best uniform in sports in their throwback jerseys.
Wait a minute, objection. The Charger powder blues.
Chargers powder blues, blah, blah, blah. I think Dolphins throwback takes the cake there, but might have a little bit of rose-tinted glasses on for that. But, it wasn't the prettiest game for sure. Bit of a snooze fest in the second half, 0 points in the second half. Pretty much a battle of the defenses and a battle of the punters. But, unfortunately for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Kenny Pickett lived true to his name, throwing 2 crucial interceptions late in that game. And Noah Igbenogany, of all people, ended up stepping in, catching a horrible throw by Kenny Pickett at the end of that game to seal the Miami Dolphins victory. But, there wasn't a whole lot to take away from that game. I guess what I want to ask you, Dylan, is what did you see from Tua? He definitely wasn't perfect this last week. Had a couple of passes that probably should have been intercepted. But do you think, obviously, the Miami Dolphins, every game that Tua has finished, they have won. Every game he hasn't finished, they have lost. So do you think with Tua returning to this Miami Dolphins team that they can get back on towards the higher rankings of the AFC standings, or do you think they're more of a middle tier AFC team?
I think Miami's a really good team. I think Miami's a really good team with 2 under center, because if you look at it, Miami's 10-2 in its last 12 games with 2 under center. Yep. Secondly, you've got 2 of the best receivers in football, one of the best young coaches, and the last 2.5 quarters didn't go well, but Miami didn't have to do anything special. Miami won the game in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Based on, we talked about Kyle Shanahan in the last segment. Well, Mike McDaniel was part of that system, and guess what West Coast offensive coaches do? They script the first 10, 15 plays.
Yeah.
And Miami was going up and down the field. You were probably unfortunate enough to score more points, but, Tua got the ball in his hands quick against a great Steeler pass rush. Yeah, minus TJ Watt, but I like what Raheem Mostert did to Pittsburgh made some good adjustment with Cheetah and Water. How Tua then thrown in 5 interceptions, because it seemed like every pass he threw to Steeler player, the ball just fell to the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely some missed throws by Tua, but the fact that Tua was able to start that game and play the entire football game. You know, you knew there was going to be a little bit of rust coming off of an injury like that. You knew that you can't expect Tua to be his full 100% self going into that game. Obviously, the goal was to get the ball out of his hands quickly, minimize the damage he took during that football game. And I think, you know, with that being said, you know, when a player gets injured, whether it's a concussion, whether it's a knee injury, whether it's a hip injury, they're always going to be, I feel like it's just human nature to be kind of cautious in favoring that injury. So I'm not really surprised that Tua made some kind of errant throws just so that he knew it's better to get the ball out than to possibly take another shot or something like that. So I don't put too much blame on Tua. I think he definitely wish he could have had some of those throws back. But really, unfortunately, in my eyes, I was a little disappointed in Mike McDaniel actually on Sunday night. I think some of the play calling is bad. I think our 2-minute drill offense was not where we needed to be. The scripted plays, those first couple of drives were fantastic. I mean, we were moving the ball at will, but on that 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, where they gave the ball back to Chase Edmonds, I was sick to my stomach seeing that call. But, you know, he's a rookie head coach. That's going to happen. He's got plenty of weapons at his disposal. And I think watching back the tape and looking at those situations, he's going to learn, and next time maybe give the ball to Mostert, who have been running well, or Tyreek Hill, Micah Gesicki, or you know, Jalen Waddle. But you know, that's all things rookie head coach is going to happen to, and I don't put too much blame on McDaniel. And at the end of the day, we got the win, so that's really all that matters.
I will say this: I think you would probably agree. I think there's a definite big three and everybody else in the AFC, and you could probably guess who those 3 teams are. Let's see.
Well, you know, the Chiefs are one. You know, the Bills are one.
And you know, Burrow and the Bengals all, because did you see Burrow?
Yeah. I saw Tyler Boyd racking up the fantasy points in my starting lineup.
He threw for 480.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
by the way, in a Yahoo league, Josh Allen was on bye, so Burrow was my quarterback. I'm like, yeah. Plus, I played Burrow and catch. Thank God I switched from the mold to Burrow.
Yeah, man, we don't have to talk about that. Mr. Dillon beat me by 0.3 points in DraftKings this week after switching to the quarterback I had locked in all week. But you know, it's all right. We don't have to talk about it. But you know what I do want to talk about is we talked a little bit about my team. I want to switch it over to your team because you guys made a bit of a move this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, first of all, unfortunately couldn't move that extra yard to get into the end zone on Sunday, but they also did another move by sending James Robinson to the New York Jets. First off, I want to know why can't the Jaguars win these close games? It seems like the Jaguars have been a bit of a step up from recent teams we've seen in the past, but as far as just getting over that finishing line, it just seems like these games are just a fingernail out of reach for you. So I want to hear about that. And I also want to hear Travis Etienne. I mean, he is probably the hottest name in fantasy football right now with James Robinson being shipped off. Fortunately, I know I have him in a couple of leagues. I know you have him in a couple of leagues. But do you think he can handle it? I mean, obviously he's coming off completely missing his entire rookie season last year off the injury. He's been healthy throughout the season. But do you think as a standalone RB1, he will be able to handle that pressure? What do you think, Don?
Well, Alex, I figured out the problem with the Jaguars. It took me 7 weeks, but the Jacksonville Jaguars need a number 1 receiver. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Guess what? And guess who they have as the number 1 receiver? Jamal Chase. Look at the Buffalo Bills with Stephon Diggs, or your Dolphins with Cheetah and Jalen Waddle. And yeah, the Jaguars are paying Christian Kirk like he's the number 1 receiver, but he's a number 2.
Yeah.
The Jaguars need a number 1 receiver come hell or high water in this draft. Because if Jacksonville doesn't get a number 1 receiver, we are going to be the New England Patriots of Duval County. And I don't know if you saw Monday night, but the New England Patriots offense sucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the New England Patriots going 5 yards, 6 yards. We need more. Jacksonville needs more explosiveness with its offense. You can't waste Trevor Lawrence's career. And with Etienne, I think Etienne's ready. I mean, I'm not sure Etienne's necessarily a 20-25 a touch guy, but I think he can get 15, 20, maybe 22 if need be. Great receiver out of the backfield, went for 100 yards against the Giants on Sunday. I think Etienne's ready, and whether you're in a redraft dynasty, I think Etienne's a top 10 running back the rest of the year, especially with no James Robinson stealing the touchdowns. And plus, Etienne brings a little something. I mean, of course, Trevor and Etienne played together at Clemson. Etienne brings that little giddy up, and teams need giddy up. I mean, you know, with Cheetah going in, if you don't have that running back or wide receiver with that speed or explosiveness, it's gonna be 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was huge on Travis Etienne in preseason, off season, leading up to the season. When it came to fantasy football drafts, I was always trying to get him in my mock drafts, get him on my legit fantasy football teams too. And I didn't necessarily see the James Robinson trade coming. I really just thought that Etienne was going to have a really strong bounce back after that injury and just kind of take over the backfield. And I mean, he really did. I mean, both of those running backs were running hard. I was actually a little bit surprised when I heard the news about James Robinson because he had been actually relatively productive, especially having kind of a two-headed committee style rushing attack that the Jaguars were using. But I guess the Jaguars were seeing everything that you're seeing, everything that I'm seeing, and that they believe in Travis Etienne, and they think that he's a good enough running back and a good enough member of their team to really be able to carry that load. So, I think fantasy football owners of Travis Etienne are ecstatic. And I agree with you. I mean, I think he's got all the talent. I think he's got the skill set. He already has the chemistry with Trevor Lawrence through college. So, I'd be pumped if I'm a Jaguars fan. I'm definitely pumped if I'm a Travis Etienne owner in fantasy football. And I think he's going to be the future of that Jacksonville Jaguars offense. I mean, obviously still on a rookie deal. He's got plenty of time before you have to, and it always comes down to the question: do you pay your running backs or do you not want to pay your running backs? I mean, the position takes so much damage, it's hard to see. But when you got them under those rookie deals, you may as well hold on to them. James Robinson obviously is a little bit older than Travis Etienne, and the Jaguars, I guess, assume that they're happy with the production that Travis Etienne has given them, and had it be enough for them to move on from James Robinson. So, it's definitely interested to see how it's going to play out for the rest of this football season. Whether having a breather with James Robinson on the field is good for Etienne, or if he just wants to be pretty much the number one workhorse back. It's yet to be seen, but I'm excited to find out. I'll tell you that much.
And by the way, if you're in a deeper league, JaMychal Hasty may be worth a filler too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we got the trade deadlines coming up. I mean, just because this is the move that the Jaguars made now, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be their running back room going into the second half of the season. There's still time for moves. I mean, I don't necessarily see the Jaguars trading away a running back just to trade for another running back, but you never know. I mean, it's the NFL, man. Crazy things can happen. And maybe they just want to go a cheaper option, maybe pick someone up off a waiver wire, I'm talking fantasy, off a practice squad. But it's yet to be seen. I'm excited to find out. I'm sure you're excited to find out, being a Jaguars fan yourself. But as a very highly stocked member of the Travis Etienne Fantasy Football Owners Association, I'm excited to see what that's going to bring my fantasy production.
Actually, in my dynasty league, I traded Ramondre Stevenson for Travis Etienne, so I was very happy with that news.
Yeah.
Tonight.
That's a fantastic deal. I would take that every day of the week. You sent me a fantasy deal, including Travis Etienne. And I will say, we don't have to go too far into it, but it was a very fair deal. I just, I don't think I can make the move, but I did. It was a very fair deal you sent me.
All right, Alex. Let's see. The Bears and Patriots on Monday Night Football, and that was odd. It was odd because I heard Patriot fans yelling for Bailey Zappi, and who replaced Mac Jones throughout the game, and then Bill Belichick sort of rotated quarterbacks throughout parts in the second half. Mm-hmm. But if you were the Patriots, who would be starting for you this weekend against the Jets?
It's a tough spot if you're the Patriots, because you have Mac Jones, who obviously spent a first round draft pick on. He took you to the playoffs last season as a rookie. First half of the season, he started a little slow, but by the time of the second half season, he was the hottest quarterback in the National Football League. You think you have this franchise guy, the guy who is supposed to be the savior of the New England Patriots from the post Tom Brady era. And then all of a sudden this season starts. Obviously, Mac Jones gets banged up, gets hurt, misses some time, and Bailey Zappi comes in. And the New England Patriots, who were looking terrible under Mac Jones, all of a sudden start winning a football game or two, start actually producing on offense. And then the questions start coming up. I mean, is Bailey Zappi a better quarterback than Mac Jones? Is Mac Jones, obviously you invest that first round draft pick into him. You want to believe that he's the guy, but also, I mean, they both are on rookie contracts, but you got to go and Bill Belichick's a smart guy. I think we all know that. He's going to go with the quarterback who gives him the best chance to win football games. He's not worried about the theatrics. He's not worried about, who was drafted where. He's going to play the best player at that position and the player that gives them the best chance to win the game. Unfortunately for Patriots fans, I really do think, sorry, Dave, I know you're listening, and you knew it was coming, but I really don't think it matters at the end of the day, Dylan. I don't think this Patriots football team is good enough to really contend for anything this football season. I think they're going to end third or fourth in the AFC East, and my money's going to be on fourth. I mean, with the way the Jets are playing, even though they've been decimated by injuries throughout the season and especially most recently, but I mean, the Patriots are not a better football team than the Dolphins. They're not even close to the Bills. So I really don't think it matters who you start, honestly. I mean, I think you've got to give Mac Jones his chance if he's healthy, because he is the guy you spent that first round pick on. And ideally, if Patriots fans, and I'm sure Bill Belichick, want Mac Jones to be the answer. But as far as from an outside opinion and looking in as a fan of a rival AFC team, I'm loving it. I mean, the fact that their first round draft pick quarterback is in a quarterback controversy with a brand new quarterback that they just brought in from Western Kentucky. I mean, Tom Brady is in the cellar, the Belichick and the Patriots are in the cellar. I'm loving life as a Miami Dolphins fan right now. But, again, I mean, I don't really think it matters, because I don't think this Patriots team is really going to be doing anything. And it's just a matter of who you want to really get the reps in and groom for the next couple seasons.
I think it should be Bailey Zappi, because he brings something different. I mean, we've seen Mac Jones play his first year plus in the NFL, and he's exactly the same quarterback he was at Alabama. Efficient, not going to overwhelm you with stats or sexiness from a quarterback, but I think Zappi's efficient. He plays well within the offense, and I mean, there is something for what Zappi did week 4, 5, and 6, because he all but beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, beat the Lions, and then beat the Browns. And what you think of the Lions and Browns, but Zappi played well in those games, and I think Zappi brings something different. I'm not saying this is going to be Tom Brady 2.0 when he replaced Drew Bledsoe in 2001, but I think Mac Jones would be better if the Patriots were better offensively, but New England doesn't have any great receivers for Titans. Yeah, they've got good running backs, but good running backs aren't winning you in Super Bowl nowadays. I think New England needs to give Zappi a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. It's a tough call, because you look at this season. I mean, if you just put this season in a bubble and you're looking at it, I mean, you've got to say that Bailey Zappi gives you the best chance to win. I mean, they beat the Detroit Lions 29-0 with Zappi under center. They beat the Cleveland Browns 38-15 with Zappi under center. Then Mac Jones comes back, starts the Bears game, and they get blown out, even though he got benched. And Bill Belichick even said it wasn't injury related. He said that they planned on playing both quarterbacks the entire game. I think if the Patriots were winning at halftime, I don't think Bailey Zappi's coming in that game.
Wait a minute. If you have, wait, you know what the old saying with quarterbacks is? If you have two quarterbacks,
You don't have any.
thank you.
I got you. So I mean, it's tough, but then you have to think back to last year, and Mac Jones took the Patriots to the playoffs as a rookie, and that has to stand for something. I mean, again, it's a tough spot because, like you just said, if you've got two quarterbacks, you don't have one. I think they have two guys who can win you a football game or two, but they're not two guys who are really going to take you to the promised land. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think you're right. I think you got to go with Zappy. I think he's produced the best this season. And it gives you an opportunity to see what he has. And if he really can be a guy that, because like you said, you know what you're getting with Mac Jones. Everything we've seen from him in the NFL is everything we saw from him in Alabama. And I don't think you're really going to learn much else by playing Mac Jones the rest of the season. But at least if you give Bailey Zappi a good stretch of games here, you can really see if you have something in him. Because I mean, Bill Belichick is not or he's able to find a little bit of a late gem at the end of a draft. So, is Bailey Zappi the new Tom Brady? I mean, I sure hope not, but I really don't think so. But if the Patriots want to find out, it's really the only way to do it.
All right, it's rant time, and I figured since I've been steaming the last couple of weeks, I know Alex is steaming. So, Alex, you have to play, and hopefully you don't strike out. And hopefully, unlike Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees in the LCS, you don't strike out.
Yeah, at least Patriots fans can be happy that their Boston Red Sox rivals, New York Yankees, got swept out of the playoffs. But yes, it is time for my rant. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach today. I'm not as angry at the current situation, more as I am angry at the situation of a whole. And my rant for you today, Dylan, and ladies and gentlemen listening at home, is about Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football is the worst thing to happen to the National Football League in a very long time. The entire scheduling around it, the concept that you can play a football game on Sunday and then have to come back and play another football game 4 days later on Thursday Night Football is unfair to the athletes. It's unfair to the coaches. It's unfair to every organization. But B, it's unfair to the fans because other than a couple outliers, such as this most recent week with the Saints and the Cardinals, which is why I hesitated bringing this up as a rant because we actually got a high-scoring football game this week. Thursday nights have been awful. Obviously, the Dolphins Bengals game, the Tua injury game is something that I want to put out of my mind. So I hate Thursday Night Football even more because of that situation. But it's just they have to find a way to make these games. And it's not even, I don't even think it's about the teams that are involved. It's really just about that 4-day turnaround. And I saw something on social media the other day that I thought was absolutely perfect. And I'm going to share it with you as part of this rant. The NFL needs to realize that they have a perfect opportunity to not only fix Thursday Night Football, but give every NFL fan in the country, because this relates to just the country, a gift. And what that gift is the day off after Super Bowl Sunday. Hear me out, Dylan. There's a bit of math that goes along to this, but if the NFL makes 2 bye weeks per season, each team has 2 bye weeks. You bump the NFL season back an extra week because there's that extra bye week. You only play on Thursday night the week after a bye week. So every team playing on Thursday night will be coming off one of their 2 bye weeks. That pushes that NFL season back. That pushes the start of the playoffs back. And that pushes Super Bowl Sunday back. And if you push that NFL season back to the 3rd and have the Super Bowl on the 3rd Sunday of February, do you know what happens on the 3rd Monday of February every single NFL season or every single year?
That sounds like Mardi Gras, right?
It is not Mardi Gras. It is, oh my gosh. Hold on. I have it. Give me 1 second. It is President's Day. The 3rd Monday of February every single year is President's Day, which is a federal holiday. You add a second bye week to every team in the NFL season. You only get Thursday night football games coming off of a bye week. That's going to make those games more exciting. That's going to make those teams more prepared and refreshed for that Thursday night game. The fans are going to love it because you're getting more exciting football on Thursday. And then you push that NFL season back 1 week to where you get that Super Bowl on the third Monday of February or third Sunday of February every single year. Boom. Free day off, national federal holiday, day after the Super Bowl. It is the most smart, logical, foolproof plan that I have seen regarding Thursday night football, and even a little gift for you at the end of the NFL season. The NFL has butchered Thursday night football. We've gone through enough with these Thursday night games. It's time for it to be fixed. It's time for the NFL to do what's right, give a longer football season, give more exciting games on Thursday night, and give us the day after the Super Bowl as a federal holiday where we do not have to go to work the day after the Super Bowl. That's my rant. We need to fix Thursday night football, and that's the way you have to do it.
It'd be a way to save the football players because you imagine the guys who play on Thanksgiving go Sunday, Thursday, and potentially play 3 games in 11 days with no even 10-day break there.
And the NFL has been so vocal about player safety and about how we're so concerned about Tua, even though they're saying Mike Tomlin. I could go on for hours about this. Mike Tomlin was so critical about the Miami Dolphins and playing Tua, even though Kenny Pickett got diagnosed with a concussion, and he was all gung ho for him to start on Sunday. So the NFL is so focused on player safety. You add that second bye week, the NFL players are going to love it because it's just an extra week that they don't have to get into a car crash practically on in between the lines. It's a perfect situation. It's good. It's a good for the image of the NFL. It's good for the players of the NFL, and it's good for the fans of the NFL.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially with 17 game schedule. I mean, another bye week would help because everybody be fresher. Especially if you got like a week 6 bye week, having that second bye week would just freshen up the legs, freshen up the mind, especially you play. You imagine you said, hey, you get a bye week 6 and week 15. I'm ready for this stretch run. Let's go.
And then the best part of it all, you get to have fun at a Super Bowl party and not have to worry about going to work the next day.
You just want the day after the Super Bowl, a national holiday.
I mean, it's a nice little perk. I mean, I think it's an answer to a problem that we've been having since they introduced Thursday night football, and really since the Super Bowl era. I mean, no one wants to go to work the day after the Super Bowl, and now we don't have to.
All right, Alex, you'd be glad that this episode's not recording on a Thursday. So thanks for hopping on, and we will see you next week. Hopefully your Dolphins get another win over the Lions, and the London Jaguars will hopefully reign supreme across the pond. You remember last year, right?
Oh, we don't have to talk about that, Dylan, but yeah, thanks for having me on, Dylan. It's been a pleasure as always. It's can't wait to talk to you next week. And fins up as always, baby.